Hello, everybody. I am Michael Flecha alongside Anthony Florio. Unfortunately, we did indeed lose Michael Bulluck for the evening due to work commitments. However, we welcome you to the recap of Payback, which was live tonight from the Rosemont Horizon, aka the Allstate Arena in Chicago, Illinois, as the pay-per-view has just gone off the air, and we are going to recap it right here, right now. You know the rules of the show, which is 3 minutes for the regular match, 5 minutes for the overall review of tonight's event. And with that said, I got my stopwatch ready to go, and we're gonna go right into it. Normally we would normally do the pre-show fight, but I think Anthony and I will agree that we will probably save you guys that time. But we will let you know that El Torito did win the fight in about 7 minutes. He shaved Hornswoggle's head bald here tonight. There's really nothing else to talk about. Let's just dive right into the pay-per-view. And we started it off. Oh my goodness, what a way to start it off. For the United States heavyweight title, Sheamus put the title on the line against Cesaro. Of course, he's accompanied by his buddy Paul Heyman. And like Paul Heyman would say, because he is the advocate, and of course, his client, Brock Lesnar, was the man that broke the streak at WrestleMania. I think it's a good thing that Michael Bulluck is not here, because he probably would kill me right now for saying that. But with that said, let's go right into it. Sheamus did end up winning the match. He successfully defends the title at 11 minutes and 50 seconds. Anthony Florio, what did you think about this match?
All right. Hello, friends. Anthony Florio with you. Ridiculously over Anthony Florio with you for our Payback review. Delighted to have you with us. Delighted to be here as always. And yes, a great way to start off the pay-per-view here. This was, the first of many, and I do mean many, Michael Flecha Be a Man fights. And this is exactly how you started off. I mean, this was a Michael Flecha Be a Man fight. Damn shame you had to miss this, because this was freaking awesome. You would have loved this. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. This was a very good way to start the pay-per-view. No big surprise on the outcome. I mean, we all knew Sheamus was going to go over, but who knows? This may not be the last of it. But then again, I mean, maybe there may be something that we may not know. I mean, 4 weeks from tonight, we got another event on the 29th. It's called Money in the Bank. It's going to be in our neck of the woods of Boston. Maybe there's a chance Cesaro, with this clean loss to Sheamus tonight, maybe Cesaro could not only enter the Money in the Bank ladder match, but God forbid, could he end up winning the damn thing? Very, very possible, because remember, I said when we did our WrestleMania review, I said he was in line for an after WrestleMania push. It's been a little slow right now, but maybe Money in the Bank, it picks up again. Just saying, with the thought. So, and as for Sheamus, U.S. title, United States Heavyweight Champion, successfully defended. I don't know what's next for him. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how they decide to go with the challenger route. Maybe a certain Bulgarian route, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe that's more wishful thinking or more food for thought. But for right now, it's gotta be Sheamus here. I mean, you knew Sheamus was gonna win that, and yeah, very good way to start the pay-per-view. I'm gonna say third best fight of the night, no question about this. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. So with that said, Fletch, what's the next match I'm gonna review here?
All right, Anthony, the next match we're going to review here was an impromptu fight. Ryback goes up against the Rhodes Brothers. Ryback wins the bout at 7 minutes and 55 seconds. So, Anthony, again, it's yours. What did you think about this fight?
2 to 2.25 stars on this match. This was a solid match. This really wasn't an impromptu match. They actually announced this during the pre-show on the WWE Network. So this really wasn't an impromptu match. Although you kind of consider it, you really sort of can consider it an impromptu fight. Because this had no build whatsoever. This was just announced, so in a way it is an impromptu fight. But since they actually said something on the network, it really isn't all that impromptu. But anyways, it's a 2 to 2.25 star match. Now, if you noticed, well, before that, let me just say, like I always like to say, solid in-ring action. TV quality match. This is something you would probably see on like the main event or something, or maybe even Superstars for all I know. But still, no big surprise right back someone over here. I mean, they're furthering the breakup of the Rhodes tonight. Cody Rhodes grabbing the live mic saying, brother to brother, you need to find a better tag team partner than me. So there goes Cody Rhodes, walks off, and Goldie is, distraught as you can imagine. So, I mean, it wasn't full-fledged heel, but I still think it's going to lead to a heel turn for Cody Rhodes, and let's face it, I think he needs it because, the face turn really didn't work. I mean, it worked at first. I mean, early on it worked. I mean, Money in the Bank last year, the match where he almost won, but Sandow tripped him up at the end. And then teaming up with Cody and then, uniting with their father, that great moment at the Battleground last year, which was only the real only good moment of that pay-per-view, considering how god-awful that one was. But still, I mean, and then winning the tag titles, and yeah, I think it's safe to say the Rhodes Brothers is done. I mean, it was a nice experiment while it lasted, but I think they need to move on to bigger and better things. I mean, maybe Goldie can go back to like being an agent or a mentor or something, and because he's 44, 45 years old, and Cody has a bright future ahead of him, and I think turning him heel would be the right thing to do. So I don't know what they're gonna have in store for young Cody next, but hopefully it's bigger and better things because he deserves better because he's a good talent. So 2 to 2.25 stars. It's in the middle of the road as far as where I rank it as far as best fight goes. So there's really nothing left to say here except let's just move on.
All right, the next fight that we had was actually one that we kind of expected. It wasn't on the main card and this one was actually just announced a few days ago, but based off what we saw on Monday Night Raw, we knew this was going to happen, and it did happen. Big E Langston goes one-on-one with Alexander Rusev, and of course, when Rusev is around, that means the ravishing Russian Lana is around, and Rusev wins the bout. He beats Big E 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Anthony, your thoughts about this one?
1.5 to 2 stars I'm going to give it here for the effort. I mean, it was too short for my liking. It was only 3.5 minutes, but here's the thing. During that 3.5 minutes, I mean, this was another Michael Flecha Be a Man fight, and this is exactly what it was. I mean, there's one bump that you have to see to believe during this fight. Fletch might have heard about it. I don't know. But here's the thing. Rusev was lackadaisical on the apron. All of a sudden, here comes Big E, spear. They go through the ropes, crash down to the arena floor. Oh, my goodness. That crowd in Chicago, you know how they are. They absolutely ate that up. I mean, wow. What a bump. That was a bump. That made that match what it was. And 1.5 to 2, I can definitely say it's definitely Rusev's best match since Rusev debuted. I mean, what we used to say, contrary for Rusev fights, usually dud matches when we say Lana's the 5-star beauty. Well, here's the thing. This fight was 1.5 to 2 stars. Yes, I mean that's the only difference about this, but one thing that's always going to remain the same. Lana is a 5-star beauty. Let's move on.
All right, let's move on, and we will move on to this. And now here's one fight that actually was this actually kind of is the head scratcher moment of the night because of the fact that this one actually, I don't even know how we're gonna rank this, guys. This was Bo Dallas one-on-one with Kofi Kingston. But if you really think about this fight never got off the ground. It apparently was a no contest. So, Anthony, what's your feeling? How do you rank this?
I can rank this between a dud to an NN, if I'm being quite honest with you. This was far and away the worst part of the pay-per-view. I mean, this was horrible. I mean, Bo Dallas finally did something heel-like with this, which is good. Ripping on the Blackhawks and whatnot. Considering their big game tonight, wow, all I can say. Huge night for that city, by the way. I mean, not just for that pay-per-view, but also that game as well. I mean, that's a night that the city of Chicago is not going to forget anytime soon, unless, of course, something else happens in a few weeks. But, oh, man, I mean, this was horrible. I mean, and let the burying of Kofi Kingston continue. I mean, good Lord. I mean, here's a talent flex that you and I have, we've sang his praises since he debuted. I mean, the last 6 years. I mean, here's a young man who has been through so much. I mean, all the titles he's won. I mean, he's been the United States Heavyweight Champion. He's been an Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, a Tag Team Champion with CM Punk, and of course had those awesome Royal Rumble moments where he somehow survives elimination, and now Kane shows up out of the blue and just lays out Kofi Kingston and then Bo Dallas. I mean, look, he's not very popular in this household. I'll tell you that right now. The brother's not a big fan of him. I'm not a big fan of him either.
I'm not a big fan of him.
Yeah, you saw the meme I did the other night on the forum, where the infamous Bad News Barrett meme, where I said, "Hey Bo Dallas, I'm afraid I got some bad news. No one likes you or your stupid ass gimmick. Thank you very much." So yeah, thank you very much indeed. I mean, now you know why nobody likes him or his gimmick. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, one of the reasons why I'm proud to be a lemon and not a rosebud. Thank you very much. So yeah. But anyways. Dud. Well, I can't really call it a dud since it's really not a match. So we're just gonna have to call it an NA. But I will say it was the worst moment of the night, no question about it. I mean, this was god awful. The crowd in Chicago crapped all over it. Can't say I blame them. So yeah, that's it. And if Michael Bulluck was here, I know he would join me when I do no, 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 no. Did not belong on the pay-per-view whatsoever. No business on it whatsoever. Move on.
All right, we will move on to the next fight of the night, which was Bad News Barrett putting the Intercontinental title on the line against Rob Van Dam, the winner of the bout, and still the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Bad News Barrett, my guy. Anthony Florio, what did you think about this match?
Well, unlike Bo Dallas, Bad News Barrett's popular in this household, no question about that. He's got a big following here. The brother loves him. But anyways, here it is. 2.25 to 2.5 stars for this fight. I mean, this was a solid match. I mean, you know, there was some moments here and there, some good back and forth action here. No big surprise on the outcome. We knew Barrett was going to win it. I mean, it would have been very miraculous if RVD had won it, although there were times where it looked like he had a shot. But no, Barrett with the bull hammer, that was it. And I thought the crowd was going to pop bigger for him, if I'm being quite honest. I mean, the minute his music hit, I thought that crowd was going to literally explode. But no, not as explosive as I thought. But he still got a decent pop anyway. But RVD, I don't know what's next for him. I mean, I don't know how long he's going to be around for. I mean, I know he's on a limited schedule. I know he's on a part-time contract.
Actually, they said he should be there from now until at least SummerSlam. So, I mean, he's still got at least a couple of months to go in his contract before he takes another hiatus.
Oh, okay. All right then. And then, but now for Barrett, I mean, who's next for Barrett? Who's next to challenge him for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship? Because, you know, you got a dwindling roster of mid-carders, and you really don't have that many face challengers. I mean, Kofi's a done enhancement talent now. Sad but true. Ziggler, maybe. I don't know. I mean, they've obviously moved on from Big E. I mean, he's obviously gone down the ranks as of late. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I really don't know who's going to be next in line to challenge Bad News Barrett. But you know what? I'm going to make another bold prediction here. Not only am I calling Cesaro for the Money in the Bank ladder match next month in Boston, you heard it here first. I think Bad News Barrett's going to be in that fight as well. And I think he's going to be one of the favorites to come out of it, without question. So that's just my thoughts. So 2.25 to 2.5 stars, solid match. Probably right around fourth or fifth best fight of the night, if I'm being honest. So, but that's it. Let's move on.
All right, we will indeed move on. And the next thing that we had, well, this was the moment. We had the decision that was going to be made. Would Daniel Bryan forfeit the WWE Championship, or will he let his wife Brie Bella be fired tonight? Well, we got the decision, and the decision was this. Brie Bella pretty much took her ball and went home, but she left one nice little parting gift for one Stephanie McMahon. A biatch slap right across the face. And let me tell you, it had Chicago saying yes, 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 yes. All right, Anthony, what did you feel about it? And, you know, what's your thoughts about Brie Bella says she quits over and does not let her husband forfeit the WWE titles?
Well, there are a couple of sayings in this world. One saying being "happy wife, happy life," no doubt about it. And then another saying is behind every great man is an equally great woman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I mean, if we had women in our lives and they did that for us, just so we could live our dream as being the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, we'd be the luckiest men in the world. No question about it. And I, I think tonight, I think Brie finally won the fans over. I mean,
Mm.
there's no question about it. I mean, all the pops and all the applause was for Daniel Bryan and right still because he can wrestle. We all know that. He wrestles his you know what off every time. And but Brie tonight, no question about it. Brie Bella has definitely won the hearts of the WWE universe, and he definitely got the love and the respect from the Yes Movement. Finally, this is what I've been waiting for. I mean, I know I know I was a little harsh, a few weeks ago when she shoved Stephanie and said stay away, and I called that lame, and we all remember that. But they obviously, they had a big payoff in mind. Oh boy, we got the payoff, man. Did you hear that? Did you hear that smack? Wow. And as Michael Flecha always would like to say, and I was thinking about this, I was thinking about you at this moment. I was going through your mind like, I know what Flecha would say right about now after he saw that. Wham, bam, thank you, man. May I have another? Oh, that was mad. Woo. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, I'll tell you something. I know I've been harsh on the Bella Twins and I've criticized them for being boring and dull and can't wrestle for you know what, but hey, tonight I'm a Brie man. That was You put me in Brie mode tonight. Wow, Brie mode was out in full force. And the minute she laid in the step, it was almost like CM Punk showed up out of the blue. That's what it was like. That's the pop that baby girl got. And let me tell you, man. Between Brie and Nikki, I've always been a Brie guy, to be quite honest with you. If I had a baby girl like that, I'd be a happy man, no doubt about it. She's very, very beautiful, but this was a fantastic segment. Normally we rep when there's promo segments during a pay-per-view, but just like the one at WrestleMania with Hogan, Stone Cold, and The Rock, this was necessary, this was acceptable, and a creative way to get Daniel Bryan on the show without him having to wrestle. This this accomplished everything. This was a fantastic segment, and if I'm being quite honest, this is where the pay-per-view picks up the steam right here. I thought it slowed a little bit, but leave it to Daniel Bryan to get a crowd going. I mean, I thought the crowd in Chicago was a little, tired and played out at first, but the minute he showed up, oh yeah, they woke right up. No doubt about it. And notice there was a CM Punk chant during that. If I'm being quite honest at the start, but Stephanie McMahon continues to be the best heel authority figure right now. I mean, oh, that crowd, oh, she got the Cena and Batista treatment if you notice. Wow, but well done. Brie Bella has finally won the fans over, and I think the Bryan fans have finally accepted her. So, and what a way to do it. She tore in the step and the slap her around the world, and Daniel Bryan, for the moment, is still the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Maybe there's something more than meets the eye here. Maybe this was just maybe the injury in the timetable not as severe as we thought. Maybe he will be ready for Money in the Bank next month. Or I should say in 4 weeks. And who knows? Maybe this could actually set up the long-awaited and heavily rumored Kane versus Daniel Bryan buried alive match, possibly tomorrow night on Raw. We'll have to wait and see on that. But for right now, wow. Since this was really the only, well, I guess you could kind of consider the Bo Dallas nonsense a segment as well. But in terms of segments, far and away segment of the night. This was fantastic. This was well done. Leave it to Daniel Bryan to rescue a fledgling crowd, and that's exactly what he did. Don't ever underestimate the power of the Yes Movement. So that's all I can say about that. The Yes Movement in full force tonight, including me. And I know if Michael Bulluck was here, he'd be doing it along with me as my vice president of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement. I'm the president, and I'm damn proud to be it. So I got my Yes shirt on right now, so you saw it. So there's really nothing left to say here except well done. Bryan and Kane buried alive. I think it's a go, and I think it's going to happen next month at Money. I think it's going to happen in 4 weeks' time in Boston at Money in the Bank. You heard it first. So, and maybe something with Brie Bella and Stephanie. Maybe a match between these two. Maybe wishful thinking. That's all I can say. Well done. This was very well done. All three were great, very fantastic, and they continue to be must-see TV. And Brie Bella, congratulations, baby girl. You definitely won us all over tonight. You won our hearts tonight, young lady. Well done. Well done. I guess we're gonna. I don't think Fletch was still. I think Fletch was still out, so I guess we're just gonna move on. Fletch, I'm at a loss for words. Let's go.
Well, I'll say this, and I'm going to make one quick point. I do believe that the Buried Alive fight is now a go. There's no doubt about it. Who knows? We might even hear that match official as soon as tomorrow night. But one thing is for sure, Stephanie McMahon is going to make Nikki Bella's life a living hell. Because Brie is gone, but Nikki's still there. And you know Nikki might be in the crosshairs. So be prepared, Nikki. I hope you're ready because I think you're about to be served to the slaughterhouse. To say no pun intended. All right, so let's get into the next fight, guys, which is Bray Wyatt one-on-one with John Cena, last man standing, and the winner of the bout, surprise, surprise, John Cena wins at 24 minutes and 25 seconds. Anthony, give us your thoughts.
We're rolling, right?
Huh?
We're rolling on this?
We're rolling.
I want to make sure we're rolling here.
We're rolling.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I had said that before tonight that my top 3 matches of the year for candidates for match of the year were the Elimination Chamber from the Chamber, Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt from the Rumble, and Daniel Bryan and Triple H from WrestleMania. Screw them. This is your match of the year right here. You ready for this? I'm pulling the trigger. 5-star classic. This was the fight of the night, number 1. And number 2, this is, I don't care what anybody says. If you want to debate me on this, yeah, I'll bring it. That's all I'm going to say. You have just witnessed tonight your match of the year for 2014. Wow. 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 This was freaking awesome. The crowd was unbelievable. And this is where it picked up steam. I mean, like I said, leave it to Daniel Bryan to get the crowd excited. And once he got them going, you can't stop that crowd in Chicago. Epic match. The moves, the spots were unbelievable. The Usos involved, Rowan and Harper involved, the 6 spots that they did, all these bumps, these hard bumps, and John Cena at one point grabbing the steel step and throwing it and connecting with Bray Wyatt, and then a lot of table spots as well. I mean, it's a good thing that Fletch was working, because if he was around, you wouldn't have had any voice left to do the rest of the show, man, because you would have been screaming, "Oh my God!" like Joey Styles would have, like 10 times, because that's how many "oh my God" moments there were during this fight. I mean, bump after bump after bump after bump. I mean, at one point they went through that little barrier that protects the ring announcers and the timekeeper. They went through that barricade. I mean, stick bump after stick bump. I mean, holy crap, this was freaking awesome. I mean, and this coming from a technical wrestling guru like myself. I mean, tonight, hardcore is back, and hardcore is here to stay, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I thought I was watching something out of the old school ECW, crying out loud. This was vicious. The only thing that would have put this over the top was blood. Well, actually, they actually did draw some blood. I mean, I noticed that Bray Wyatt had a little gash, like right around the elbow or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Cena had a little gash somewhere on his body as well. But, oh my goodness, this was freaking awesome. I mean, WrestleMania was a very good match. Extreme Rules was good, but not overly great. I mean, I know a lot of people crapped over that fight because, it felt slow at spots and the ending left a lot to be desired. But, wow. This was... I know the ending... I know to some people, they were crapping all over the ending on this one, but here's the thing. The body of work was just out of this world awesome. Go out of your way to see this fight. Fletch, if you have the time, go out of your way to see this match, and if you see it, you will not be disappointed. This is a 5-star classic and your match of the year. And oh, by the way, greatest last man standing match ever. Done. Go.
All right, and with that said, we're moving right back on, and we go to the WWE Divas title fight, which was Paige putting the title on the line against Alicia Fox, the winner of the bout, and still the WWE Divas champion, Paige. She wins it. Anthony, this is yours, kid. Go ahead. What do you to say?
1.5 stars for the fight. I'd have to say second worst, maybe second or third worst. Don't know how to rank it between the Rusev and Big E, and then, well, no, the Bo Dallas stuff, that was far and away the worst. But I don't know, between this and the Rusev and Big E, I mean, you definitely had to give the crowd a breather. That's what the Divas are for. I mean, no question, they always give the crowd a breather, no doubt about it. I mean, unless they were planning on having these two put on a clinic like Charlotte and Natalya did on the NXT Takeover.
Oh, what a match that was!
Oh, I think that's your women's fight of the year right there.
Yes, I agree with that.
That was definitely. I think if I'm being quite honest, that was better than Paige and Emma. I mean,
I kind of disagree with you on that one, Florio. I kind of disagree with you on that. I think Paige and Emma was far and away better, but I will say this, that Natalya and Charlotte would definitely be considered the second best Diva fight of the year.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, I'll have to review those again, but anyways, I mean, you knew you were going to, what I'm trying to say is you weren't going to get that kind of a match with those two. No doubt about it. I mean, the last really good Diva fight in WWE, I mean, I honestly cannot remember. I probably would have to say this event last year when AJ Lee and Caitlyn went at it. I mean, it was we gave that 2.5 to almost 3 stars on that fight because of how good that one was. But
yes, it was.
I can't remember the last time a WWE Diva fight was that good. I mean, it's been a while, but Paige is getting better. I mean, she's a work in progress. That's all I can say about that. No big surprise she won. You knew she was going to win that. It's too soon to take the belt off her. It would have been very interesting to see what Alicia Fox would have done if she had won the title, but she still had her little antics. I mean, the crowd was somewhat into it, if I'm being quite honest. And yeah, so I don't know what's next for Paige. Because remember, Derek Ferrer keeps preaching about this. There's a shortage of heels on the heel roster for the Divas, and I really don't know who they have in line for Paige next. I mean, could it be a Layla? Could it be, I don't know, a Summer Rae? I really do not know. Because now that she's by A Fox, I mean, I really have no clue who's going to be next in line.
Maybe Natalya? Because, they've been trying to push her as a heel. So maybe Natalya.
Now, that would be an interesting matchup.
That would be a very good match.
Maybe at the Money in the Bank. We'll have to wait and see. But we'll just have to wait and see how. We'll have to wait until Raw tomorrow night to see, what direction they want to go in next. But the Diva division is still dull as dirt right now, unfortunately. And if you want to watch real women's wrestling, watch NXT, folks, because that's better. So better than TNA, better than the Knockouts, better than the Divas. So the best women's wrestling on earth right now is indeed NXT. You heard that here first. Let's move on.
All right, and we're going to go right into the main event. And actually, you'll get to hear my thoughts about it because this is the fight where, when I got home, this was the fight that they were definitely into. It was the Shield versus Evolution. No holds barred elimination fight. The winner of the bout was the Shield, a clean sweep at 31 minutes and 35 seconds. And all I can say was, oh my God, what a match this was. And you know what? I'll tell you one thing. For 25 minutes of this fight, this was absolutely craziness. And then the final 5 minutes, when the elimination started, it was really all of a sudden, it was fast, it was very quick to try to get the eliminations, but they were really trying to rush right at the end of the fight. But I will say this, what a way to end it and to have a clean sweep for Evolution to get wiped out straight, three men out. Basically, Batista eliminated by Seth Rollins after Roman Reigns speared Batista. Then you saw and then Randy Orton got eliminated by Dean Ambrose after he got hit with the dirty deeds onto a steel chair, and then it all went downhill as Triple H gets speared, pinned by Roman Reigns for the 1, 2, 3. Anthony, I gotta say, you said that the John Cena fight and Bray Wyatt was the fight of the year. Well, I think this one is definitely a hot contender, or at least a top 3 contender for fight of the year. And I'm gonna pull the trigger on this one as well. I'm giving this one 5 stars in my opinion. I thought this match was absolutely tremendous. The ending was unbelievable. There's nothing you can talk about. And you know what? I'll say it. Um, I think the MVP of this fight tonight was definitely Seth Rollins. Did you see what he did when he jumped off the Titantron and basically landed on all of Evolution and Roman Reigns? Yeah, that had me yelling, "Holy crap!" In my opinion, a tremendous way to end it. And you know what? Even though there was no WWE Championship fight, this was a suitable replacement for the main event because it lived up to the hype and then some. 5-star classic for me. Anthony, go.
When was the last time we had a pay-per-view with not one but two 5-star classics on it? We'd have to probably go all the way back to WrestleMania 10.
Yeah.
When Bret the Hitman Hart went hard.
I
And
actually,
Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels.
I actually disagree. I think we got to go back to WrestleMania 17. I think
Oh,
17 was a couple of 5-star
TLC.
classics.
Yeah, TLC 2 and Rock and Austin, of course. But that wasn't until tonight. Yes, another 5-star classic. I mean, I cannot believe two 5-star classics on the same night. I mean, my goodness. I mean, this was unbelievable. I mean, this topped the extreme. We knew this was going to be awesome. We knew this was going to be, and it's too tough because we had two matches 5 stars, and we have co-fights of the night. I mean, I really honestly can't put one over the other, but I still think the Cena and Wyatt, something about that one I thought was better. But this was definitely very good. This is definitely the two matches that you witnessed tonight, John Cena, Bray Wyatt, and this match here, definitely your two match of the year candidates right now. It's a horse race between these two. Question is, which one is better? I don't know. I'm leaning towards Cena Wyatt myself, but because I mean it was a little sluggish at first, if I'm being honest. I mean it was a little slow at the beginning. I mean, because they did the regular. There was some traditional wrestling moments here. I mean it was like a typical 6-man tag. You know, for a good few minutes, and then the craziness happened. And when you saw the craziness, I mean, Evolution there was a point where Evolution was dominating and controlling the match at their pace, and then giving the beat downs and everything else, and then and then the Shield coming back and Seth Rollins with another crazy bump. I mean, you thought he couldn't top the bump from Extreme Rules. Well, I think he did top that one. I mean, that crowd in Chicago loved it. I mean, this was unbelievable. And yeah, a very well done match. Two 5-star classics on the same night. But if I'm being quite honest, only because I thought the body of work of Cena and Wyatt was better, I'm gonna have to say this was the second best fight of the night. When was the last time a 5-star classic was the second best fight of the night? Oh yeah, it had to be on the night where there was another 5-star classic. But two 5 stars on the same night. But Cena and Wyatt was just a smidge better to me. But this was still very well done, no question about it. So really nothing left for me to say except Shield wins again. Does Batista take the time off? Does Sheamus eventually end up joining like all the dirt sheets are saying? I don't know. We got a lot to think about. So many scenarios, so little time to think about it. So that's it. But let's wrap this up.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up with our overall review. Unfortunately, because I only just saw one fight, you're not gonna get a review from me. Basically, Anthony, this is all on you, man. You got 5 minutes all by yourself. Go ahead and start preaching, man. What did you think about tonight's pay-per-view?
All right. Well, I still think WrestleMania is the favorite view of the year. There's no doubt about that. I cannot in good conscience say this was the best pay-per-view of the year because there were some clunky moments there. The Bo Dallas stuff. I mean, let's face that. I mean, that was the buzzkill right there. But 2 5-star classics on the same night. But I could honestly be compelled to give the Shield and Evolution honestly like 4.5 to 4 3/4, if I'm being quite honest. But the body work of the match and everything else was fantastic. But for my taste, John Cena and Bray Wyatt was not only the fight of the night, but also my new number one match of the year. If we did our power rankings right now, I would have Cena and Wyatt Last Man Standing as the match of the year for me. Because that's how damn good it was for me. Second best fight, no doubt about it, was the Shield and Evolution. Even though I'm really more tempted to give that between 4.5 to 4 3/4. I mean, because that's how good the fight was. Because there were some slow spots at the beginning, but it was definitely a very wacky match, a crazy match. A lot of sick bumps there too, but I don't know. I mean, it's between those two. There's no doubt. Sheamus and Cesaro, number 3, no doubt about that. 3.25 to 3.5. That was a very good opening match, no question. Barrett and RVD, I probably would have to give that the number 4 spot. 5, probably Rusev and Big E, and then the Diva fight after that, and then the worst, of course, Bo Dallas and Kofi. I mean, oh yeah, I forgot. There was that tag match too, the Rose Brothers and Cody and Goldust. I'm gonna give that the 5 spot. I'm gonna give Barrett RVD 4. I'm gonna give Cody Rhodes and Goldust against the Ryback 5. Then it's Rusev and Big E. Then the Divas, and then of course Bo Dallas and Kofi. That nonsense. So that was far and away the worst. So with 2 5-star classics and the caliber of the other body of work, I'm gonna have to give this between 8.5 to 9 out of 10 for my taste. It definitely called it the second best pay-per-view of the year. I mean, it was very slow at first, but then once Daniel Bryan came out with that segment, that woke the crowd up. That's when they got into it. That's when it took off. And then Cena and Wyatt did what they did. The Shield and Evolution did what they did. So I'm going to say second best pay-per-view of the year, only behind WrestleMania. I mean, WrestleMania, no one's going to touch that. I mean, this pay-per-view almost did, but a little more, maybe it wouldn't. So if you had a Daniel Bryan fight on this card, if Daniel Bryan had defended the title on this card, maybe it would have come close. But no, didn't do it. Second best of the year, though. A solid 8.5 to 9 out of 10 based on the body of work. This was an incredible pay-per-view. Fans in Chicago once again showed why they are the best crowd in WWE today. And now we get Boston in 4 weeks. I mean, you know how gravid those fans can be. Believe us, we know that. So, oh man, it's going to be a lot of fun 4 weeks from tonight on June 29th at the TD Garden for Money in the Bank. So, what now? Who's in the Money in the Bank ladder match? I think Cesaro's going to be in it. I think Bad News Barrett's going to be in it. I think Sheamus is going to be in it. Maybe some Shield guys, maybe some Evolution guys. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how they decide to go about that. Who's next for Paige? Daniel Bryan and Kane buried alive. That might now be a go, because it looks like Daniel Bryan's he's probably going to be good to go for Money in the Bank. Remarkable, considering what he's been through already. So, which I'm very happy about. I'm glad he's still the champ. I mean, I want him to get a nice run with it. So, yeah. So, like I said, a lot of scenarios, so little time to think about it, but we'll figure it out tomorrow night on Raw in Indianapolis at the Bankers Light Fieldhouse. So it's going to be a great show, I think. But then again, the Raw that late haven't really been all that good. I think it's probably going to be a back to reality edition. So very good pay-per-view tonight, no question about that. A match of the year candidate. We have our new match of the year, in my opinion, anyway. John Cena and Bray Wyatt, no question about it. Go out of your way to see it, folks. It was that damn good. So, well done. Great job. Second best pay-per-view of the year. 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I don't know how else you can rank it. So, with that said, Flesh, let's put the bow on this.
All right, and we're going to put the bow on it. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you very much for watching this. Please like our video, leave a comment at the bottom. What is your feeling about tonight's pay-per-view? Do you agree with Anthony and myself? Mainly with Anthony, because he was the only one that actually was able to give you the full review. But we will let you know tomorrow night we will have a wrestling forum on Monday night. Basically, it will be at 11 p.m. Eastern, immediately following Monday Night Raw. Derek Ferrer, myself, Anthony Florio, and Michael Bulluck will be in the house, and we are going to recap Monday Night Raw, the fallout from that. And then Wednesday night, we have a very special event for you guys. The Rangers Roundup. We are back, and now we know who it's going to be. The Los Angeles Kings have won the Western Conference Finals. It will be the LA Kings versus our New York Rangers. A 7-game series to determine the Stanley Cup champions. We will have the game one immediately following when that game is over, all said and done on Wednesday night. We will do that then, and we will once again review all of the games from 1 through 7, or as many as it goes until we determine a new champion. And then, of course, we will have Strictly Sports possibly on Friday night, but I would probably say keep your eyes peeled on Facebook and Twitter, and we will let you know if there is a show or not a show. We don't know just yet, but until then, thank you very much for watching this. I am Michael Flecha, alongside with my partner, the ridiculously over Anthony Florio. You know the routines, everybody. Hugs and hand pounds. We are out. Good night. From East Providence, Rhode Island, you've been watching a special edition of the Wrestling Forum, the Payback Review on YouTube.com. Have a good night, everybody.